Hello, and I hope that you felt that assignment number 2, the pen and path assignment, prepared you for using the 3 tools or 4 that we're going to use in this. There probably is more, but for the most part, we're going to be using to make these music icons, which is your second exercise, your second project. It's really the project number 3, okay? You are going to be using the direct select tool, which is the A key, the regular select tool, which is the V key, the pen tool at times, which is the P key. You don't have to remember these, but you will because you'll probably hear me say it. The rectangle tool, which is the M as in Mary key. We're going to use the scissors tool, which is a C because scale has S. Okay, so C. I'll hit C for scissors. Then inside the rectangle is the ellipse tool, which is the L key. Okay, and you can see right now it's the L key. This is your assignment. It's to have fun. It's not necessarily to make every single thing that I'm making. It's to make what I refer to as getting used to this new world of icons, because everything's an icon on your mobile phone, on your iPad. And I'm going to click to some various icons here that are examples. So you can see that we have various music icons here. And if you Google vector, start with vector, vector music icons, or vector sports icons, or vector audio icons, you're going to get these. This was just a vector musical icon that I Googled. And you can also put the word art in there, like vector art musical icon, and you're going to get a list of things like these sports icons. Simple, circular, squared off, whatever, but simple icons is what this is all about. I want you to have some fun with this. Honestly, you can show me your creative side. And I don't mind if you actually do, that's more of an audio, like icon set, and you can make them as, don't make them complex. Keep them simple. And that's the whole secret to this, is keeping it simple with some nice vivid colors that people like to look at. So what I'm going to do, and this is another set of musical icons, what I'm going to do is complete this in front of you. So I'm going to click to what I've made as my template, and I still want you to maintain this template. Now I don't know how well you're going to see these guides come on screen, but this is a 6x6 document. I'll double click the artboard, which is above the hand here, so that we can see the size of the document. It doesn't appear anymore in File Document Setup. It's here. So it's a 6x6. So when you make your new file, I'm going to hit cancel. When you make Command N, go to make a 6x6 inch document. We can keep the color mode currently CMYK. That's fine with me. I would want you to keep it, even though icons are mainly used for mobile devices which use RGB, we're going to keep them as CMYK. All right, so you can see here how you can change it if you click advanced options from RGB to CMYK, but for now just please keep it CMYK. So I'm going to close that, okay, but I'm going to open up a brand new one in a minute, or else I'll just continue working on this one. And this is a student, this is what I actually have labeled demo example, but you're going to get in the asset folder, you're going to get this file, so that you can see when you open up this art thing that I've named every single one of them. In other words, here's the softer one that I'm turning on. Let me zoom in a little bit. Here is the fast forward, the end button. Here is the start button, or to the start. Here is the reverse. Fast reverse, and I'm just going to begin this right now. Okay, so you do have the capability of going beyond this movie. All right, so I just want to click away from this again and just show you. Please make sure that you do as many as I have done on this page. Now I'm going to ask you to please watch these movies. Now, I'm not going to do this all in one movie. I might break it down into 1 or 2 or 3 movies. I don't think more than 3 movies because I can go pretty fast on these. And remember, you always have the ability to redo these, to rewind and to see what I've done. Okay? So what I want to do is use this. This is my demo file. And I'm going to use this. I'm going to close this art layer, but I'm going to select it all, and I'm going to dim this right now to let me dim this to a point of, let me click back up to the regular selection tool, and with everything selected, I'm going to dim it to about 30%, just so I can see it, but I'm going to use it as my template just to see it. And I'm going to turn off the guides layer. All right. I actually make a guides layer, which I'm going to do again so we can see everything. Now, this is what you start with. Here's your 6" by 6". You can see that I have my rulers showing. And I'll try to move this over just a little bit so you can see the rulers at all times. But so just bear with me for a second here. And I don't want to dock a lot of these together. I just want you to see the rulers. So over here you should see the ruler for the X side. I should move that over, but let me see if that's going to be a pain. I really kind of want you to see this. So I would like you to see the rulers as I'm maneuvering the screen. Okay? Okay, so I'm fine with that, actually. So let me actually move this over and squishy squash this a little bit more. Okay, so I am going to begin right now. So I'm going to make a new guides layer. Remember, on your file, you don't have any layers except for the one default layer. So when you hit Command N and you go like this, you're going to have just one layer. I'll make that panel options icon larger so you can see it. All right. And I can actually begin on this file if you really wanted me to. So I'm just going to say guides. It really is no big deal. I'm just going to make sure I save it, or I'm just going to go back to my other one and continue on. Okay. So what I want you to do is make sure the guides are unlocked. So I'm going to go up to View, Guides, and make sure they are not locked. I want to unlock guides. How do I check? I'm going to click on this here, and I am going to hit Command R, or Control R to see the rulers. I'm going to make sure the rulers are in inches by right-hand clicking, and I'm going to drag 6 guides out here. As you can see on my other file, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I have 1/2 inch, then an inch, 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 and 1/2 inch, both on the horizontal and the vertical. So the center of each of these little art boxes is on the main inch, okay, which is cool because it makes it a lot easier to position everything, as you will see. So please just drag 6 guides out. Don't care where you put them, just drag them real close to each other like this. I'm going to be very fast with this. Remember, you can rewind it. I need to see the transform palette. So I'm going to put the transform palette right on this screen. With the center, see the center proxy that I'm clicking on? You can click the upper left proxy, the center proxy, or any one of the proxies going around the perimeter. I want the center one. Now I'm going to work my way backwards. So I want to marquee with the direct select tool, use the direct select tool, and highlight that guide right over here. Now I'm going to take and go on the X ruler. Remember, the horizontal ruler is X, the vertical ruler is Y. So I'm going to put 5.5 and hit the return key. Now I'm started to lay my guides in. So now I marquee this one. What is this one at? This one's at 4.5. This next one is at 3.5. So I highlight it with the direct select tool, or I just drew a little box around it. See, just a little box. Highlight this and go 3.5, hit the return key. Highlight the guide, double or drag across there. This one's at 2.5. Drag across this one, list a little box. 1.5, and 0.5. So I'm going to drag across this and go 0.5. Now when I come back, I'm going to have 6 guides going the other way. I'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'll be back in a second. Okay, I'm back recording, and as you can see, let me hold the Option key. I'm holding Option or Alt on a PC, and I'm moving my middle mouse button back 1 so we can see the guides. I placed using the transform ruler, and then now this time, I just have to grab it again. This time I was making it on the Y ruler. So this guide here went to 5.5, 4.5, 3.5, 2.5, 1.5, and 0.5. Now, I have them in the guides layer. I'm not going to go to view lock guides, which I could do. All right. I'm going to lock up the layer because I want to have the ability to move these guides when I want to without having to go up and unlock. I'd rather just unlock the guides. See, I have them all on one layer. So what I will do is I will go to this, and it's kind of neat that you're going to watch this. I'm going to unlock this layer. Watch something cool that I can do. I'm actually going to select all of these shapes and hit Command C. I'm now going to lock it up, and I'm going to click to the new untitled one. And I'm going to say over here, Paste remembers layers in the layer palette. So all I have to do is paste in front. Hold on. Sorry about the phone call. So now I want to, and I don't have to make a new layer because it's going to remember the layer because I have paste remembers layers on. So if I go to edit, it's called paste in front or paste in place. Kind of in this case, both of them do the same thing. If I hit Command V to paste, it'll paste somewhere on the artboard right in the center, which isn't the right thing to do. I want it to come in the exact position it was in this file here. So I'm going to click here and hit Command F. Now, it actually pasted directly where it was. Now I have to actually select all the items again and lower the opacity to 50%. But look what came in. All the layers as they should be named. Equalizer, Bluetooth, input, levels, pause, softer, all of it. All right, now I'm going to use this as reference art. So I'm just going to rename this as, just so I don't get confused, reference art. You don't have to do that, of course, because you're only going to have an art layer. And this is coming from your mind. This is coming from the examples you have around you. You are welcome to do this file first. In fact, maybe that's a great idea. Do this one, and it'll give you a lot more confidence to go in and do stuff like this. So this is not, hard. But some of the shapes that you make, you're going to wonder, how do I make those shapes so quickly? And that's what I'm going to show you in this one. So let's get right down to it. Okay. Matter of fact, I'm going to link it. I'm going to unlock it and click this button, the radial button here, and I'm going to go down to 30% because I really only just barely want to see them. So now I'm going to make a new layer, and I'm going to call it my art layer. So I'll say this is the art layer. And then inside, I won't group everything together until it's all done. And I'm not 100,000,000% interested in getting it perfect, like the exact same size. Perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to do is zoom in and start in on this middle button right here. Okay. So I'm on the art layer. I'm going to double click and make sure that the selection color, see this thing? I'm going to make sure the selection color for me today is black because I'm not going to draw with black in my foreground and background color. Now, I want to establish something called a graphic style. What I want is I want to take and make a rectangle. So I'll take the M key like this. I'm just going to have it right there. Now, I want to establish a gradient inside there. Then I want to go to my, and I'm looking for it, graphic styles window, which is right here. It's under window, graphic styles. And I'm going to establish a graphic style, maybe even more than one. So right now this is just a test one. Okay, so I'm going to click a gradient. Look at my fill is in the front. I'm going to click a gradient. In that, I don't care which direction it's going. Whoops. I'm going to hit the V key now so I can move it around the screen. And I'm going to zoom in so we can just play with it. I want to work in the peach color. In this case, I may go to blue colors. Okay, so this one I did peach before. I'll do blue this time. Okay, so I'm going to do lighter blues. So I'm going to go to my gradient palette right there. So in the gradient palette, I'm going to actually put in a blue. I'm going to pick up this blue. Look at, I'm picking it up from the swatches palette and I'm dropping it on top of this black icon right there. See that? Now I'm going to do the same thing with the same blue on the other side. So now I have a gradient going from blue to blue. Well, I'm going to lighten this blue on the left and I'm going to darken this blue on the right. So watch how I do that. I'm going to double click this. In this CMYK window, I'm going to hold the Command or Control key, then click this and move it over. And I'll tell you why I'm doing that in a little bit. So now you can see how I am actually lightening that blue on that side right there. Now I like that blue. I kind of want to save that blue. So what I want to do is grab that blue. I want to say, okay, now look what I'm going to do here. I'm going to click this icon. I'm going to go to my color palette and drop it in here. So in that color palette, with me selected on this left icon, I can save it in swatches. Now I'm going to click this icon. I'm going to double click it. Now I want to darken it. So I'm going to grab the black and make it darker and grab the magenta and make it slightly darker. Now I like that. That looks really pretty. Okay, so I kind of want to save that one too. So I'm going to pick up this one from the color one and put it over here. So I'm going to grab it and put it up here. Now I should save the file, but now watch what I'm going to do too. I'm going to click the gradient and put it here. So not only do I have the solids, but I have the gradient in the swatches palette. See it right there? 1, 2, and there's the gradient. Now I can change direction and feel what it is that I want these things to look like. I kind of want my colors to go from the top to the bottom. Let's go back to the one that I finished, and so I can keep on referencing this one, I'm going to put the opacity back at 100%. And I'm going to zoom in. So my color goes from the top dark on the left to the bottom right where it's lighter. Let's kind of do the same thing on this untitled one. So here's how the gradient palette works again. If I hit the G key, the left hand side of this is your first click. Look at how I can go in this direction, and I let go on the right hand side for the darker color. So the right hand side here is where you let go. The left hand side is where you begin. So that's the way this works. So I can go light to dark this way, I can go light to dark this way, or I can redo what I just did and go light to dark this way in that direction. So let me go a little bit higher like this. Okay, I think that's pretty. Now, I'm not going to define a graphic style yet because I want the stroke, which isn't as easy to deal with when you deal with a gradient. But I'm going to make the stroke be a thickness, like, I don't know, 1 point. Okay, maybe even 1.5 points. So let me go to 1.5. Now I want that to have a gradient, so I'm going to click the gradient inside. I kind of like how it goes from light to dark, the opposite of what my icon did. It kind of looks three-dimensional. I think that looks kind of neat. If I wanted to change direction, I want you to see in the gradient palette there's an angle. I can't redrag a gradient color. See how when it's on stroke it won't let me redrag it? So I would have to put that here. Look at how I could change this to 180 degrees opposite. See that? That's 100, a circle's 360, so 180 degrees is the other direction. So if I go back to 0, it'll go back where it was here. Now if I go to 90 degrees, that means it'll go from dark to light from top to bottom. If I go to 270 degrees or something close to that, I can figure out how it is I want it to look. Well, I'm going to go back to the 0 degrees because I like the way that looked. There's my graphic style. So look what I'm going to do. Come over here and I'm going to define a new graphic style, and I'm going to say blue theme. So now look at down here in the graphic style, I have a blue theme. So from now on, when I draw something, all I have to do is click this and the shape will go right into that color. And there's a few other ways I can do this, but I'm going to now make this by hitting the regular selection tool. Let me put the gradient palette back over here and just kind of sneaky hide this one. Okay, so I'm going to put this one here. Now I'm not going to care that this button, that this square, I'm going to actually delete it. Okay, because I have a graphic style for it. I want to make sure the rectangle is square. So look at how when I back off of this and I have my smart guides on, I get this to actually be right in the center. Now, what if I didn't care about that? I'm going to tell you, if you can see the rulers, let me move this over. The center of this box right here is on 3 and 2. Well, that's so convenient, I can't even believe it. So I'm going to put the transform palette right here. I'm going to hit the M key for the rectangle. And I'm going to click anywhere I want to, hold the Option key, hold the Shift key. Option lets me draw from the center out. Shift makes it a perfect square. Now, all I have to do is put the X ruler on 3 and go to the Y ruler and put it on 2 and hit the return key. It is now perfectly in the center of that box. And that's what I'm going to do every single time. Okie dokie. Now I want to round the corners of this, so all I have to do is grab this and round the corners of this to my heart's content. And now I have my stop button. I'll turn off my art layer and you can see how I have the stop button. Okay, now I might want a thicker stroke. So what I'm going to do is click this, thicken up a stroke to 2 points, and I'm going to make a second graphic style. I'm going to say that this is my blue theme and it's 2 points in thickness. So there. Now I have one that's 1.5 and one that's 2, just in case I like this better. Now let's go over and I'll do this button. Now if I make a mistake, it's okay. I'm going to use the things that Illustrator gave me. So I hit the V key. I'm going to say this so many times, don't panic with it right now. Okay, so I'm going to hold Control Alt or Command Option and click anywhere in the box. Remember, I'm in the selection tool. Now I'm going to add the Shift key to my finger, and look, I can drag a second one here. Now I want to turn this one into the triangle. Okay, and there's plenty of ways that I can try to get this done. The first way is I want to remove, I want to not have rounded corners on this. So if I have an issue with this, I'm not going to panic. So I'm going to zoom way in. Remember, I'm holding the Option key and I'm zooming way in. Do you see that little marker there? I can actually hold the Shift key and put it back in the point. Now I don't have, now they're not rounded. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit the A key and I'm going to, I'm going to hit the P key and I'm going to get rid of that point right there. Now I'm going to move this one straight up so it becomes a triangle. So I take the direct select tool and click on that point and hold. I'm just going to move it up a little bit so you see that I am indeed moving it up, right? I am. But I know that the center of this is at 2. So if I just go Y at 2, look at how that's shot right up where it needs to be. Now I don't want it to be so much out there, so I'm going to move it kind of closer to here. Now look what I can do here. I can actually grab this one independently and round it off by just grabbing that again. Now I'm going to go up here and do this one. So if I go close to this, I can do them at the same time, I believe. But I can click this and I can round this one off. That one wasn't hard to do. And I can round this one off. Whoops. I have to grab this and now round this one off. And now I have a really nice set of buttons. And it works. Look at how nicely that works. Now, let's put the whole thing in the center of the screen. Okay? So let's hit the V key for the regular selection tool. Let's go and now see where the center is. It's at 2 and 2. So if I just drag across X at 2, tab to Y at 2, hey, that's in the center. So I'm good to go. Okay? So I'm perfect here. Now, it looks like I didn't get it in the center. So, you know what I didn't probably do and I should do? I know. No, I think I have it. I'm going to put a guide down and I'm going to do a double check because something must have moved. No, I have mine perfectly. So I'm going to Command Z back. Okay, so that's perfect. So now I'm going to put it over here and put these two together. So I'm going to go back to this regular selection tool. Okay. Hold Command Option or Control Alt and click and hold in the center. Now I'm going to add Shift so I can make a duplicate, and I'm putting it here. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to click, hold Command Option or Control Alt, then add the Shift key and put another one right there. Now I want to join these two together. So I can Shift click both of these. I can use the regular selection tool, click one, Shift click the other, and go get my beautiful palette called Pathfinder. So go up to Window and get your Pathfinder right there. Thank you. This upper left-hand one is called Unite. So I'm going to click it, and now it unites together. Hey, I'm done. But I think there should be a line right here of a certain color. So I'm going to use my solids that I made and I'm going to make a line. Now there's plenty of ways to make a line. I can use the line segment tool or I can use the pen tool. In the line segment tool I can click, hold the Shift key and work my way down and I have a line. I can click over here and I can make it a solid color. I can take the A key or the V key and move it right where I want to, right about right there. Now I'm going to move it up like this, and I'm going to hit the A key for the direct select, click just that point, look at how that one's hollow, that one's solid, click it again and hold the Shift key and move it up. Now I'm going to custom fit it here and here. Now I'm going to click the center of it with the regular selection tool. So now the points are both solid. If I go to the stroke palette, look at how I can have, and I'll get close, look at how I can have squared off edges. I'm using the space bar as my hand tool. I can have rounded edges, squared off edges, and I'm going to go with rounded edges because I think that's cute. So now I have my fast forward. Okay. Now I want to take both of these. Let me move Pathfinder down and let me move stroke off my screen, or just double click this so it kind of gets smaller. Now this is very cool. I want both of these buttons over here. So all I have to do is marquee with the regular selection tool, hold Command Option or Control Alt and click. Add the Shift key to it and drag over here. Now if I put them in the right place, all I have to do is find the Reflect tool. Look at the tool palette. Right inside the Rotate tool, if you right-hand click, go to the Reflect tool. It's really cool. Just hold the Shift key, don't let go, grab one of these points over here and just flip it for over here. See how quick that was? Let me go Command S to save the file. So let me save this as demo, which I should have saved before this. And I don't know what else to say. Demo _ Brian. And that's fine. I'm saving in the right folder. Yes, I am. And I'll even say demo_Brian number 1. And I'm going to save it. And I should have saved it before this, so I'm a horrible teacher. Now, I'm going to move down to the next row in the second movie. And then I'm just going to continue and keep on going and going and going. I suggest you watch the first movie completely through. Obviously, you're watching it, and it is completely through. But I'm going to recommend in class and in an email to you, please watch all the movies in order. I suggest, again, I'm hitting the tab key, okay? I'm going to hit the F button so we can see what I've done so far. Now, there are guides up there, and I'm not quite sure. Okay, those weren't really guides. Those were not really guides. So there's what I have so far. I want to continue on, and I suggest that you do this one. So you follow along and you get used to the Pathfinder tool and all the other tools I'm going to use. Because it's about skill. It's about learning quick techniques. And there's only 5 tools or so that we're really using back and forth on this. So far, I want you to, even if you have to rewind this, you're doing good. All right, now you can name these as you go. And on the start of the next movie, I will actually go into the layer palette. I'll highlight these and I'll name them. I'll see you in the second movie.